Spring practice is opening all across the country. We're going to be on the road a lot this spring, but I can't be everywhere all at once. So we're counting on our network of folks to feed us information, and I got you some tonight. I'm going to go to Arkansas first. We're just going to go all over the place. How beautiful was it today to crank up the internet and to have footage of Bobby Petrino roaming the sidelines in Woo Pig gear just fed to me. It's awesome. It's great. Not all of you share that opinion, but that's okay. I've got Robert Petrino and Sam Pittman in the same frame in this Arkansas practice B-roll. It's awesome. To me, it's awesome. Now, I was over at Hog Sports earlier today perusing. Wanted to see what Trey Biddy and Danny West and the boys have been up to over there. And I saw someone say something that I agree with. Arkansas's wide receiver core is not going to be the best in the conference, but it will probably be a little underrated coming into this year. And I agree with that. And that's some of the early vibe I'm getting out of Fayetteville. But what you'll see is a guy like Petrino able to maximize whatever that unit's potential is. So that's something I'm paying attention to with them this spring. Isaac Teasla, remember the tight end from Hillsdale that we were all over 2 years ago? I'm still watching him. We have not sold our Isaac stock. We'll call it IP. It's IS, but it's is. But I have not sold that. So Arkansas, keeping an early eye on Bobby Petrino's offense at Arkansas. At Miami, by the way, Colin, keep that up for a second. The over-under at Arkansas is 5.5 wins. That's way too soon to be placing. Well, it's not way too soon to bet because you can do it if you want to at FanDuel. I'm not going to do it yet. But just a question for you folks at Arkansas. If the over hit, you won 6 games, is that good enough for you this year? I think you know what I mean by that. Is that good enough? Remains to be seen. I will pay close attention to the comment section. All right, at Miami, we got to keep a close eye on Cam Ward. So Miami was in the quarterback market, and then they went and landed Cam Ward from Washington State, the quarterback. He flirted with going to the NFL draft, got NFL tools, comes to college, though, comes back to college, if you will, goes to Miami. It won't shock you to learn that day one of practice the other day, they haven't even wrapped the thing up, and I'm getting text messages from folks at Miami, mainly emojis, some inappropriate for all the right reasons. Cam Ward's going to impress you when you watch him in a camp setting. He's going to impress you in 7-on-7. He's going to impress you in shorts. And he's probably going to impress you a lot in football games. I'm just saying we haven't gotten into that full 11-on-11 fall Saturday setting where it's Florida State across the ball from you, or it's Clemson across the ball from you. Right now, it's just Miami spring practice. So far, so good on the Cam Ward front. Now, sometimes when a new quarterback comes in and they're immediately given the starting position, you can be concerned with how that impacts the locker room. Sometimes it's a problem, sometimes it's not. I think down there it won't be that much of a problem, because I think they know and are learning pretty quick. Those who didn't already know, I think they're learning pretty quick. Yeah, that guy's the real deal. Here's the other thing. Heard Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator, down there talking, and he said, hey, if you're good at what you do, locker rooms accept you pretty quickly. That especially goes for the quarterback position. Next up, speaking of new coordinators who used to be head coaches, Chip Kelly. You were just looking at footage of him now in Columbus, Ohio. He talked to the media the other day. It's the world we live in now. I got Will Howard at quarterback running with the twos to start spring. More on that in a second. And I got the B-roll right here. If you're watching on YouTube, this is him playing in a snowstorm at Kansas State last December. And now, lo and behold, he's the possible starting quarterback at Ohio State. And his offensive coordinator is Chip Kelly, who was the head coach at UCLA last year. So Ohio State fans see through this, I think, but there are some fans who are just reading practice reports who see Devin Brown's running with the ones at quarterback up there. Will Howard, the transfer from Kansas State's running with the twos. I don't know that FanDuel would give me odds on this, but I'd bet a healthy amount of money that if healthy, Will Howard will be your starting quarterback at Ohio State. So I fully admire Devin Brown's statements that he's made, calling people out for just expecting him to transfer. I'm all about that. I'm all about the competition. They got Julian Sayin up there. They got Aaron Nolan up there. So I think it's one of the deepest quarterback rooms in the country. Question is, at the very, very top end of that, how good is the guy you're going to start, who I presume will be Will Howard? How good will he be for Ohio State? He's going to have everything he needs around him. Will he have the offensive line in front of him that he needs? That's the other thing. Very early returns from Columbus, but that's the early thing that everyone's talking about with us is, hey, it's wait and see on this offensive line right now. And at Kentucky, let's go to the Bluegrass for just a second. Do you remember who transferred there? Anybody? Belchy does. Brock Vandagriff from Georgia transferred to Kentucky. This time last year, it was Devin Leary from NC State. This year, it's Brock Vandagriff. Looking good. Early on, looking good. Now, if Kentucky doesn't win 12 games this fall, someone will come back and say, well, you whiffed on that Vandagriff prediction, didn't you? Well, number one, I'm not predicting anything. Number two, you can fall short of, winning the SEC and still have a quarterback pan out well for Kentucky. All I'm telling you, which is the purpose of this segment, is they really like what they got at quarterback in Brock Vandagriff. I'm also telling you, and this is personal, I think one of the hidden gem steals in the entire coaching cycle was Kentucky getting Da'Keil Shorts at wide receiver. Their wide receiver position, we talked about the support staff grades the other night, they really upgraded there. So Mark Stoops did a really good job in hiring. They did a really good job in portaling. They were 7-6 last year. Their 2024 schedule, they opened with Southern Miss, and then they got South Carolina and Georgia, both at home. Weeks 2 and 3, conference play opens. So we got a long time to get to that, but that's some of the juice, that's some of the scoop. And that's really early scoop. A lot of schools still have an open spring. That's some of the early stuff we're hearing. Probably have a little bit more robust segment come Sunday.